Jake and Joy, and today with Jameson. Oh my gosh, we have a little one who's helping us out in the kitchen today.
And obviously Derek.
Hi.
Obviously Derek. Derek doesn't get to sit on our lap though, just Jameson,
Yeah.
that's it. Anyway, this is season 8 of our cooking show, and our show is all vegan and gluten-free. And we know that you might not be completely vegan or gluten-free, or maybe you're really an advanced vegan and gluten-free, and you don't think that we are advanced enough. That could be. This might not be the show for you. But what we like to do is we like to show you some simple ways that you can get your family to eat more plants. Maybe you start out with a recipe a week. Maybe you start out with a recipe a day. Maybe you start out with throwing your carrots on the floor. Any way you're doing it, we hope that you're enjoying this show and we hope that you're getting value. You can comment in the comments section below, and we'd love to hear from you. You can also follow us on Facebook at Jake and Joy, and we post a new episode every Tuesday. So it's another great place that you can go. I like to always make at least one soup for every season, and you're not a soup lover. You're not a soup lover, but I'm hoping that you like this soup. It's really good for you. Why don't you think you like soup?
I like stews, like thicker. I don't like thin soup.
So this is going to be a chowder. This is going to be really thick.
Yeah.
We're going to use the blender, and I already started making part of it because we couldn't make the whole thing on camera. Mm-hmm. This is a vegan and vegetable potato chowder that a friend of mine posted on Facebook that was actually originally from plant-based chef Alexandra Caspero. She's a registered dietitian and a plant-based chef, so if you want to follow her, she's at Delish Knowledge. And they loved it so much that they made it twice, so I just figured we should make it. All right, what you're going to need for this recipe is, well, it calls for oil, but we use broth instead. It's just a tablespoon. You're going to need a white onion, a couple medium carrots, a couple stalks of celery, 1.5 pounds of creamer potatoes. So you want something that's tiny and creamy, a red bell pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 cups of frozen or fresh corn kernels, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh thyme, and you can use dried thyme if you need to, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1/4 teaspoon cayenne pepper, 6 cups of vegetable broth, salt to taste, freshly ground pepper, and 3 tablespoons of chopped dill. Now the main thing that is in any chowder usually is potatoes. And they recommended that we use a brand called the Little Potato Company creamer potatoes, and I could not find them anywhere. So I bought some of these, and this is what we ended up using. However, I think they really meant something more like a fingerling potato. And we use these in a different episode, and so you'll get to experience that as well. So I already started out I started without you. And the first thing it calls for is oil. Well, we like to substitute broth, and we like to substitute our homemade broth. We like to save all of the ends of the potatoes and the ends of the mushrooms and the peels off of the onions and the carrots, etc. And we save those, and once I have a gallon bag full, I just put it all in a pot, cover it with water, and we make broth out of it, and it's really fantastic. So I put a little bit of that, and then I added the chopped white onion. I added 2 medium carrots. Now these are not medium carrots, so I would say that 3 of these together would make a medium carrot. So you have to judge that. When I went to the store, the shelves were just empty. I don't know, there was like a freak out on carrots. It was crazy. And then 2 stalks of celery, which I already put in. 1.5 pounds of these potatoes, which I've already added, and I've gotten that going. And then also, we're going to add, I already added the red bell pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, and now we're going to add 2 cups of frozen corn. I'll be right back. Jake.
We'll be here eating this carrot.
And tell them about what you're doing with the carrot, Jake.
What I'm doing with this carrot?
With Jameson, like what you...
Oh, well, so he's just got his first 2 teeth, and so we're starting to introduce some foods a little bit. And carrots I like to go veggies first, is what I've been hearing is smart, so that he gets used to the non-sweet thing. So carrots are a little bit sweet for a veggie, so we're just letting him gnaw away at that. He's liking it so far. And I think because it's cold, he's liking it too.
Nice. Okay, then we're going to add the veggie broth, and this calls for 6 cups of veggie broth. Not only is our veggie broth more delicious and more nutritious in my estimation than what you can buy in the store, but you're also going to save a lot of money.
Yeah.
So to buy 6 cups of veggie broth would cost me a minimum of $8. And probably more, depending on where I got it.
And I also like because you get to use like the quote unquote waste parts of the plant. So you're using everything that you're cutting up.
Yeah,
always like that.
and there's so many minerals in all of that that it
Yeah.
really, it just makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and you can avoid like whatever preservatives or whatever come in, and you also avoid the plastic liner because if you buy broth in the store in those Tetra Pak containers, they're lined with plastic,
Yeah.
so you can avoid that.
One thing about broth that a lot of people don't know is that they are excellent. Broth is an excellent collagen producer. A lot of people think that that buying collagen supplements is going to boost their collagen, and you can't do that. You have to actually get your body to produce the collagen, and you do that by eating things like onions, things like mushrooms, things that beans, things that have a lot of protein in them, things that have copper in them, things that have vitamin C in them. That's what makes your body produce the collagen. So I'm going to stir this up. Let's add the herbs that it calls for. Now we took this thyme off of our tower garden, and just like anything that you pick fresh, it's really going to make a huge difference.
Jameson agrees.
And he agrees. We're going to add the thyme. We've got 2 teaspoons of chopped thyme, and I was just reading that thyme is a great source of copper and vitamin C, which we were just talking about in terms of adding, letting your body produce more collagen. So adding thyme I like to put thyme in just about everything. I put it in anything that's going to be savory that I'm cooking, and then we're also going to add some cumin. And what I love about cumin, if you're trying to lose weight, cumin is a really good thing to get into your diet every day. This calls for 2 teaspoons. I love these measuring cups. On the back it says it says a spoonful of affection. I love it.
Yeah.
And then we're using a half a teaspoon of the smoked paprika.
You don't like it?
You don't like paprika? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And we're adding a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now if you like things kind of spicy, you could add a little bit more. And we're going to add all of that to the soup.
We're just being bystanders, observers in this.
Just observers in this one?
Yeah.
And how this turns into a chowder is that we're going to use the blender to actually do this. So I'm going to bring that to a boil, and we'll be right back. So the next part of the soup is just blending it, and that's going to get really loud for Jameson. So maybe you guys can go in the other room, and I'll finish it up myself. Goodbye, young man.
Okay, see you
Goodbye.
later.
Say bye. Say bye. Bye. All right. So I'm going to use this Vitamix, which is a really high-powered blender that we use a lot. And I recommend that every kitchen have either a Vitamix or a Ninja or something that you can blend large amounts of things. You can actually get this thing so hot that I could have made the soup in this blender. Probably not with the potatoes, but definitely with other ingredients. So I'm just going to add some about 2 cups of what I've got here to the mix. It's about 2 cups. What we want to do is we want to get this really creamy and then add it back. I'm taking about half of what's in here because I think that that's necessary if I'm going to get this to the creamy texture that Jake's talking about. You could also do this with a handheld brawn, and you could do it right in. This thing can go right into a soup pot. We just don't happen to have an extension cord there. But this is a really handy, this is not what you think it is. This is actually
It's a massager?
It's not a massager. It's actually for blending things. So we're just going to blend that up, get it really smooth. We donate a lot of our produce from Chapala Gardens to the Organic Soup Kitchen in Santa Barbara, and they puree a lot of their soups because some cancer patients can't handle chunky soup. But I like it with a little bit of chunk in it, so you can see how creamy it is. And I'm going to add that back to the chunks, and let's have a look and see what we think. See how it makes it actually look like it's got cream in it because we've blended up the potatoes, but we're still going to keep the chunkiness, and Jake was talking about how that's the part that she really likes. And we're just going to let that heat through a little bit. Voila, we've got a vegan, vegetarian, vegetable potato chowder. I'm just going to add some salt and pepper to that, and we've got a hearty soup that you can use pretty much any time of the year. Sometimes we think about soup just being for the winter time, but I like soup all day, all year long, all day long. I think it's a really great way, especially if you're trying to manage your weight. If you have soup around, you've got something that's ready to eat, that's hearty, that you like the flavor of, and you tend to want to grab something fast when you get hungry. And so having soup around is a really good way to do that. I hope you like this recipe, and we'll see you next time.